Yo, what is up, Vicco gang, man? And today, man, I am finally gonna start reviewing the final core of 1,000 Year Blood War episodes. I know I did not do the first three, but it's because I kind of already did. If you guys haven't seen, man, I went to actually go see those first three episodes in the theater. So if you guys want to know my general-ish thoughts of those episodes, you can go check that out. I'll probably leave it at the end of the video. There's actually something I want to address because the way I went about that video, you know, I think it was valid for that video. You know, I kind of went like play by play because, you know, unfortunately, I don't think like everyone could see those episodes. So I wanted, you know, to explain and show you guys. If you guys watch the video, see why I say show. But there's some new things that happen in, you know, those first three episodes. You know, like with Urahara and Jugrim and stuff. You know what I mean, right? I wanted to, you know, to show that, but I don't think that was really like reviewy. But I'm trying to do my very best in these upcoming videos from now on. You know, for the 1,000 Year Blood War, or for, you know, reviews to actually be reviews and not just like basically play by plays. Because I did kind of do that in my previous videos before, like in Core 3, most notably, I feel like. And yeah, let's go into it, right? Chat, like, comment, subscribe if you've been loving the 1,000 Year Blood War, man, because I know you have been loving the 1,000 Year Blood War. Like, come on, dude. Like, especially with this gosh darn freaking episode, dude. Let's get out the way, man. Obviously, huge spoilers if you even click on the video, obviously. Probably the craziest episode so far in this current core of the 1,000 Year Blood War. We might think this is crazy, but who knows what we got in store right now, man, because obviously with this episode, chat, we got Bankai freaking Kenpachi, bro. True Bankai, like adult form Toshiro HITSUGAYA, and then of course in the post-credit scene, freaking an actual like tussle, little scuffle with Horn of Salvation Ichigo versus Yuha. Just off the bat, man, it looked freaking incredible, both animation wise and art wise. You know, the art I think is something they like, it's like a priority for them, but also the animation came to bat as well in this freaking episode. Like this cut right here of Kenpachi running up the thing and stuff like that, and of course, you know, when Kenpachi actually goes Bankai, and like this is like probably one of the most like anticipated things for me, because, you know, unfortunately, like, you know, I did not read the full 1,000 Year Blood War, but I, you know, I did have knowledge of a good chunk of the stuff because I was a nosy little guy back then when I first got into Bleach, and, you know, I knew of Kenpachi's Bankai, I knew of Toshiro's full adult form, but I mean, yeah, Kenpachi's Bankai was like awesome in this episode. I mean, like, look at that, like this looks incredible. Kenpachi looks incredible. HITSUGAYA looks incredible in this episode. Like look at HITSUGAYA. Like HITSUGAYA looks incredible in this episode as well. I think I also mentioned this in the first of 3 episodes, you know, when the theater viewing of the 1,000 Year Blood War Calamity episode, there is a shot of Urahara. That was like the first like teaser like trailer thing they ever did. I think like in December 2021, there was that teaser trailer. It was that certain shot of Urahara, and then now this was also a teaser shot in that original thing as well, was adult HITSUGAYA, and he looks incredible here. Yeah, overall the art animation has just been top notch, and of course the content of this episode is just as crazy as I have already mentioned, of course. And from what I understand, apparently, you know, I watched a few videos of course of this episode, you know, after, you know, watching, you know, I'm a little, you know, I do that, and apparently there's only like 10 chapters left to adapt, apparently, because as far as I know, there wasn't that much original content in this episode for the most part, except for like a few like smaller things, I guess, and little mini additions, I suppose. But apparently there's only 10 chapters left, and dude, we all know that this freaking anime is going at breakneck speed, right? I'm not exactly sure how many chapters this adapted, but I know at least in the like previous course it was at least like 3 or 4 chapters an episode, and also we're gonna be blazing by, because, you know, more action oriented episodes, like that's not a lot of like content. Like it is a lot of content in the actual manga, but like in an episode, like that's literally like 5 seconds, whereas in the manga you had to depict like every like action, you know, like if you want, right, to be able to convey what's happening, you know. So it is a little longer to, you know, go through that in a manga than, you know, in an actual anime where it can all happen in the manner of like 5 seconds in a singular like scene motion, whatever you want to say, right? And then they played a classic like Bleach song like towards the end, like around here, where HITSUGAYA and Byakuya are like talking and stuff, and then they, you know, get Renji and Rukia, wow, really right there, but more so right about here, yeah, Renji and Rukia, they're playing I believe it's Stand Up Be Strong. I believe they did like a remixed version of that, I believe, or Invasion. I get those two like confused for some reason, like at least the names, I don't know, but it sounded great. Like I love when they do that, like it's so awesome. Because I won't lie, like one little itty bitty like nitpick I have with the Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War is that they do be kind of, you know, spamming the same songs, but they are great songs though. Like they do fit, of course, so there's not really knock at that, you know. It's just like, you know, I do wish there was a little more variation sometimes, but for the most part, obviously all the songs are great, of course, but, you know, that's my only like nitpick in the music aspect of 1,000 Year Blood War. Now, yeah, this episode was just obviously is obviously insane. Like there's not really a whole lot I can like go about without saying like, wow, the action was incredible. Yeah, KENPACHI'S power in Bankai was like awesome to see. Like actually the most chills I ever got in a while. Well, maybe not in a while, but in a bit was obviously when, you know, Yachiru came through and said, you know, this power is called Bankai. Okay, like, oh my gosh. And then you actually literally hear another voice overlay Yachiru's, which I didn't catch at first, but I'm like, oh, that's clearly most likely, right, the other Zanpakuto spirit that we literally hear like in the Cour 1, I believe, when KENPACHI actually does, you know, finally be able to, you know, is finally able to speak to the Zanpakuto spirit of Nozarashi, right? And you know, I did also notice that, you know, where they are at is in the forest, which really looks like it's when they first met for the first time, you know, all that long ago, right? I think it's a really nice detail. If this is, again, I was watching other videos that this is probably KENPACHI'S inner world, which is also a really cool detail, right? Like just overall really cool things going on in this episode, man. And I wish I can talk more about KENPACHI'S Bankai, and like I do wish it was around a little longer, of course, but I mean, he literally just decimates Gerard Valkyrie. Like he literally like he stomps him. Like it was a stomp, bro. Like look, like bro, he literally splits him in half like nothing in this form, you know. And then he obviously comes back, and I guess he has like crazy blue vein or whatever the hell, dude. Yeah, like right here, like he's coming back and stuff. I did really like his transformation though. Oh man. And then when KENPACHI actually goes toe to toe with him again, right here, you have a freaking Gerard shoots this beam out of his sword. Obviously he's stronger, but KENPACHI's able to like actually like, but it seems like, yeah, he deflected it right there. He deflected the freaking beam, and it freaking obviously it just cut off that entire part of the freaking like where they're fighting, you know what I mean? The Varvel, that's what this is called, right? That they transformed the freaking royal dens or whatever to freaking Quincy buildings and stuff, right? Called the Varvel, right? Anyways, that was awesome. And of course Toshiro is awesome as well, and oh man, of course, like it all looked great. And then freaking Byakuya using a Senkei, which he has not used since the Soul Society, I'm pretty sure, at least like canon wise. I've heard that he does use this again, the Senkei ability, in a movie, I believe, but I don't know which movie, but I'm assuming you guys obviously know, right? You know, I apologize, but I have not watched the movie. For all the movies, the one movie I watched was Hellverse. Okay, sorry, okay, putting it out there. But yeah, this move was so sick to see Byakuya do again finally, for literally in forever. And you know, they thought they freaking took me out, but they didn't, right? But it is what it is with that. Gerard Valkyrie fight was awesome. And actually I have a little theory on how they'll probably hopefully beat him for real this time, because actually I thought at first when I was like my mind was racing right now. I'm like, because you know, we're gonna get a lot of original content, and apparently in the manga chat, you know, I guess spoilers here, 3 2 1, big freaking spoilers, well, I guess semi spoilers, that the way that they defeat Gerard isn't cool, kind of like lame, right? I'm gonna say. So I was getting like all these crazy things, like theories in my head. Like I thought like Rukia and HITSUGAYAS were gonna team up, like, you know, a freaking Rukia use her Bankai, because in this moment, yeah, freaking Toshiro is still in his adult, you know, Bankai form. By the way, I did hear and see that they actually got a different person to voice HITSUGAYA in this form, which I thought was really cool. Actually, I thought it was really cool that they did that, even though I think the original voice actress, I believe, right, voice Toshiro, you know, like in Brave Souls and stuff, right, I believe, and I thought like they sounded great. But I think it's also pretty cool that they got another actor, you know, pretty cool getting a new actor, you know what I mean? Like pretty sick. They do a great job at sounding like Toshiro but older. Like that is pretty impressive in my opinion. But a way I believe they'll probably like actually like take out Gerard in a really cool way, because you know, we saw that Gerard has, as we can see here, it's when KENPACHI splits him in half. We see the freaking cross thing, and then it turns into, I really like this scene, by the way, like him somehow getting it and all that stuff, and it turns into a heart, right? Because I guess Yuha does have access to certain parts of the Soul King already, like how I forgot that freaking thing's name, but the hand, that's the Soul King's hand, is a Quincy member, you know, of the Stern Ritters, right? That's the hand of the Soul King, and this is most likely the heart of the Soul King or something, right? That's why he's basically unkillable. But what I thought would have been cool maybe is if because they were showing flashes of all the Soul Reapers all around, you know, you saw Ikaku, you saw Yomichika, I'm sorry, and then you saw Rangiku, and then also we have HITSUGAYA, we have Byakuya, you know, we still have KENPACHI, he's not out yet, so maybe they'll do like a crazy like attack, like, you know, like tag team, like, and you know, the Shinji's right there, Hinamori's right there, so maybe the Fighters can actually still help, even though they unfortunately really took an L. You know, yeah, Shinji, you know, they did take a big L. Like it was cute, and you know, we saw him fight, but you know, unfortunately they didn't really do anything. But maybe if they all band together and they're able to take down Gerard once and for all by doing a full-on like coordinated attack or whatever on this crazy Gerard transformation, you know, the crazy, you know, thing that Gerard does here, like he looks really crazy and actually kind of cool, but like kind of creepy at the same time, kind of like scary looking. But I think, right, because Toshiro, according to him, he is was able to freeze any and all functions of things or whatever, right? Because that is why, you know, when he split Gerard's sword, it didn't like, you know, it didn't like counterattack or whatever, right? He actually straight up broke it, and, you know, but it didn't hurt him because he stopped the function of the sword. What I was thinking is they all do an all freaking power attack, you know, everyone like attacks Gerard at the same time. They're able to blow open his chest somehow, you know. Byakuya helps, you know, obviously when Zenbo Sakura, obviously he's going to be a big help, and then they slice open the freaking heart or whatever, and then Toshiro freezes the Stern Ritter cross, right, the Quincy cross, and then boom, Gerard is effectively dead. I think that would be super sick if they did that. Okay, I think I yapped about, of course, I guess the big meat and potatoes of the episode. Now for like, it's already been cinema, but actual Giga Ultra Giga Gas cinema is Horn of Salvation Ichigo versus the little tussle with Yuha. I thought this was just fantastic, like obviously, right? Like come on, and like this little show of power, dude, at the very beginning where he just steps through Orihime's Chunchunrika barrier right now. Like, oh my, like holy aura, man, aura incarnate. And of course, and then he freaking like the animation here is just nuts, dude. Ichigo's like, well, I'm gonna make some space, and he just like, dude, he just blows open where they're at, you know, this freaking throne room, and then he goes out and attacks Yuha before he's like, I'm gonna take out my sword finally. I have actually, you know, I'm respectful or whatever. And then he's like, shut up, dude, and he blows him up again, but he unfortunately does catch it here. And then finally, oh my goodness, bro. And then, dude, this looks sick. Like this is too much. Like this is too much. Like friggin' cinema in my face. And then of course Ichigo is gonna end it with a not Getsuga Tensho. As you can see, it is a Getsuga Tensho plus a Grand Race Zero. Look at this. Oh my, oh, and then he gets Yuha like a really clean shot. Yuha, at least it does look like. Wow. That is my Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War episode 44, right? Or the 4th episode of the 1,000 Year Blood War. And who even knows what is up next in this core, bro? Ah, that shot of Ichigo. Like, who even knows what's next in this core, bro? Because there's gonna be a lot of original content, I believe. You know, I want to see more of this freaking fight between Ichigo and Yuha, bro. It's gonna be absolute giga ultra peak ultra cinema peak gas, bro. And yeah, I honestly thought, I think I talked a little more than I wanted to, but hey man, that's what Bleach does, right? That's what Bleach freaking does. This episode was amazing, and I honestly like hope it's not the best episode of the core. You know, that's how awesome I think this core is gonna be. You know, this is only the 4th episode. We still have what, like 6 or so episodes left of the core, because I believe it's a little shorter. But I think that's already because they're already stretching, you know, this core out. You know, as I already, you know, mentioned before, they only have 10 I think official chapters left to adapt. So there's gonna be a lot of original content already. So it being 10 episodes, I think is already like crazy from what I can gather, right? Now, yeah, man, W 1,000 Year Blood War of Bleach, core for the Calamity. Fantastic episode, incredible episode, and I hope they just keep on going and going after this episode, man. I literally cannot wait. Let's freaking see what they have in store for us in these upcoming weeks of this anime, man. That has been yours truly, freaking Vicco, and I am freaking gone. Sub now.